Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am here to share with you my quick long-term review of my Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. A lot of things had changed after my short-term review of this lovely beast. Optimization such as the battery life has been improved, the performance has been enhanced, the UI ads that used to annoy me are now gone and hopefully will be forever gone. And now I reach my yearly phone replacement, and I'd like to sum up my experience to tell everyone who is interested of buying this device for 2022 if S21 Ultra is still worth it. Now let's find out. To begin, let's start with the physical design. The S21 Ultra design, the mix of metal and the frosted glass at the back, as well as the glass at the front, still feels good at hand. The island bar where the cameras are found is so iconic, and I really wish that Samsung kept this design because I really find this original and I really find that it is so Samsung. Like the moment I look at it, it's very recognizable that this is Samsung. It was a lovely design that I wish they kept to all the ultras and just probably instead of removing it, they should have improved it instead. So I think I took this design for granted that now, as I'm about to switch to a different phone, I would probably miss this design too. But although some people might say that the S22 Ultra's new design is refreshing and minimalist, but I still beg to disagree because I think that the design of S22 Ultra is somewhat reminds me of LG devices, especially the LG Velvet. But then overall, the S21 Ultra's design for 2022 is still very much worth it to consider. Next thing that I'd like to discuss is the user interface. One UI, I was never a fan of Samsung's One UI. I find the UI vividly eye-catching, but with less functions. Although they've been always bragging about how they make everything easier to use, I still find that most of the features are a little bit gimmicky. But now, as I was using this for about a year now, I started to appreciate how Samsung started to make an effort to improve their user interface usability wise. An example for this is the inclusion of Grammarly in their keyboard. I never use their keyboard because it sucks, to be honest. But then the inclusion of Grammarly makes everything really, really good. I kind of appreciate how concise the grammatical suggestion is quite good as well. And it it's it it actually caught me off guard, to be honest. The second thing that I appreciate is how they were able to improve the arrangement of their widgets. The widgets looks better now, and the inclusion of other styles to blend on your kind of personality to make your user interface you is now more achievable compared before. And third thing is that of course there's no more ads as I mentioned before there was an ads, but now ads are no longer there. So the only thing that I wish that Samsung would improve is that I wish that they would improve more about the functionality of their user interface. But one if there's one thing that I can guarantee, I think One UI will only keeps getting better as time goes by. Based on my experience in the past 9 months of using Samsung, the user interface are really starting to get even better. Next thing that I'd like to talk about is the performance. So during my first few weeks of using my Samsung S21 Ultra, one thing that I noticed right away is that the device can get warm. Like even if you were just like browsing the web or if you were just like browsing your photos or even just in the user interface, the device can get noticeably warm. I tried to bring it back to Samsung and talked about the device, but they said that my device was completely normal. And but to my surprise, as time goes by, Samsung was able to improve this. They've been giving us updates over and over since the first release, and the updates somewhat makes the performance even better. It becomes less warm. The battery performance somewhat improve, and the device feel the warmness is still there, but it becomes less noticeable as it was before. So I really appreciate how Samsung was able to handle the performance of their device now compared on the first few weeks of its release. When it comes to the gaming department, I love playing MOBA games. So playing MOBA games for straight 2 hours, my battery of 50% can drop to 15%, 15%, and performance is still very good and very smooth. It doesn't get warm as it used to, and the performance is quite impressive until it reaches the 10%. So 10% and below, the performance in the in-game performance can be a bit sluggish, although it's not laggy, but can be a bit sluggish. But the overall experience, my overall gaming experience with my S21 Ultra is very impressive as I receive a lot of updates. We've received a lot of updates from Samsung that now lowers down the warmness that I've been experiencing in this device. So overall, the experience is really good.
Defeat.
When it comes to the battery life and my everyday usage, I start my day at 7:40 a.m. to and ends my day at about 11:30 p.m. So that's just 16 hours. In my usual day, I don't usually use my phone that much, especially when I'm at school and then when I go to work. So my screen time would only be like about 2.5 hours screen time. But then I consider the 16 hours quite good. But then on my but in my busy days where I use my phone a lot, like for example, a night out, or for example, I wanted to take a lot of photos or videos and I wanted to play games, the battery life lasts for about 5.5 hours of heavy use or 5.5 hours screen on time, which is quite impressive too. When it comes to the photography, here are the side by side comparison of my S22 Ultra and my S21 Ultra. So you guys will be the judge, but one thing that I can guarantee is that I was able to put the right name on the right photos. So you guys will be the judge. All right. So in conclusion, Samsung S21 Ultra is a beast in its own right. If you would ask me if this is still worth it for 2022, I would answer you directly that this is very much worthy of your consideration. I know for a fact that S22 Ultra is already available in the market, but between the two, if you would ask me of my opinion, I prefer the design of S21 Ultra. To be honest, I really prefer the design. And as of now, without any updates from S22, I prefer the battery life of S21 Ultra compared to S22 Ultra. And if you are a kind of person that doesn't prefer using pen or find the pen quite gimmicky, I think you should consider S21 Ultra instead of S22 because as of now, this S21 Ultra is still very much competitive. All right, so there you have it. That's my long-term review and my farewell review of my S21 Ultra. Hope you guys enjoyed and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye for now.